About the fun side of the internet tonight. It's going to be about the rampant misinformation on it. It's something that we've covered multiple times before, from Alex Jones to vaccine misinformation to conspiracy theories. But tonight, we're going to be looking specifically at misinformation that spreads among immigrant diaspora communities. The spread of misinformation has real consequences. When a reporter recently tried to figure out why vaccination rates among Latino communities in California's Central Valley remain low, one woman explained her reluctance like this.
Yo he escuchado a líderes de la salud.
¿Cómo a quién?
Es un doctor que yo he escuchado, yo lo he visto en unos documentales, que nos dice que el virus es curable. Esta es de la doctora, mira, veamos la doctora.
Pero lo más importante es que para mi pueblo El Salvador la respuesta es no. No hay que ponernos la vacuna del COVID.
¿Cómo llegó usted a este vídeo?
Me lo mandó mi mamá.
¿A través de qué medio?
A través del medio de Facebook.
¿Por qué usted decide creer a este doctor y no a un doctor como Dr. Fauci?
No he visto al doctor Fauci.
¿Nunca lo ha visto?
No.
Yeah, that's not great, is it? And it's a pretty good reminder of how, thanks to social media, it is possible to silo yourself off and have very different experiences of living in America, because she was aware of a Fauci. Sometimes the spread of misinformation is exacerbated by the fact that for many diaspora communities here in the United States, there just aren't many alternatives in their own languages. For many older Vietnamese Americans, there is such a vacuum of credible news channels that broadcast in Vietnamese that many turn to YouTube for their news, with certain channels on in their houses 24/7. One popular host based here in the United States is Nguy Vu, who brands himself King Radio. He's basically a Vietnamese Alex Jones, as you can see in rants like these.
China completely has control of Biden. The whole situation with Hunter Biden's laptop and the trove of data it contains. I think Xi Jinping has got his hands on all of it. George Soros was part of the financial plot to overthrow the Trump administration.
That's true.
Why are we still being forced to wear masks? Masks are killing people. If you're in a state that gives you the right to not wear a mask, and then you enter someone's house but they try to make you wear one, tell them,
fuck you.
I mean, you can see where the Alex Jones comparisons come from. Both have voices that sound like bones going through a wood chipper, both have an inability to control the volume of said voices, and both have sets clearly inspired by a Windows 95 screensaver. Also, they both seem to have the same business model, with King Radio selling his audience Viagra, medications, and beauty creams that he claims are made by his cousin, which should be a huge red flag, unless his cousin is named Steve Clinique.
Everyone has had a good weekend. I'm JD and this is Grim Info. So I wanted to cover a few stories that might have slipped through the cracks and you might not have heard about this weekend. So I started off the show with the normal way, with all of the different articles that I'd like you to go check out and I'd like you to read. But then there was the show with John Oliver. And I'd really like to touch bases on this because, you know, they call it misinformation. Hopefully you enjoyed that video. This is my problem with our media in our country. They give you some guy who talks like this and talks down to you and tells you how little that you know about anything, and they automatically, they lump people in with Alex Jones, and they're like, well, because he's Alex Jones and he talks like he's, you know, sticking a bone in a wood chipper, that he can't have, you know, he's just a conspiracy theorist. Well, here's my problem with that, John Oliver. Here's my problem with that. Is that the fact of the matter is that when things keep coming true, it's kind of hard not to fucking see that there's not something there. This gets on my nerves. Because they think that they stick these British fucking people on TV and Americans are just swoo and we're just, you know, we do what they want us to do or we believe what he leads us to believe. At the end of the day, people have a right to listen to their doctor and listen to what they want to believe. At the end, we all have that choice to put into our bodies what we want. And that is slowly being taken from us. And it doesn't help when you have talking heads like John Oliver and people parroting the same things over and over and over. Misinformation, misinformation, misinformation. It's BS at the end of the day. He did it. Hunter Biden had a laptop that had crap on it. Joe Biden literally said, fire the prosecutor, you ain't getting the money. Okay, these are facts. Okay, there is no such thing as disinformation. And once again, if you cannot go do your own research and figure out what ADE is, and figure out exactly what the Davos group, who the Davos group are, who these people are, and go listen to the things they've said. Go listen to TED Talks. So let's go over this real quick.
Of the internet tonight. It's going to be about the rampant misinformation on it. It's something that we've covered multiple times before, from Alex Jones to vaccine.
And they invert everything, okay? So if they tell you that Alex Jones is misinformation, it's because they are misinformation. You see how it works? They tell you something, and they're constantly throwing stones. Always remember that old adage, he without sin, he won't let he without sin cast the first stone. They have sin. That's why they're always throwing the first stones. They're always throwing the stones at people. Haven't you noticed that? Every time they get on TV, it's misinformation this, misinformation that. The liar here, liar there. Silence them. This isn't good enough. We got to silence this person. They're getting knowledge on YouTube. They're getting knowledge on Facebook. We need to silence. Why? If these people are kooky and crazy, then leave them alone. Let them believe what they want. Why do you care so much, Mr. Oliver? Why are you making it a point to basically say that, immigrants are being misled and we're not doing enough, we're not inclusive enough? Do you think these people don't have the power on their TVs to change their settings on their TV so that way they can understand CNN? The same way that they're doing on here for people who don't speak Spanish or don't speak Vietnamese. Do you mean they don't have that doesn't work both ways, Mr. Oliver? Yeah, I think you're ignorant is what I think. You know what I know from people that I've spoken to? That they don't trust American media. They don't trust the America media. Because these people have lived in other parts of the country where they actually have journalists who try to have some integrity. And, these people understand what's really going on in other places around the world. So while Mr. Oliver and people like MSNBC and Fox News and CNN, they constantly lie to people and they constantly are moving the goalpost or having people on that move the goalpost. People don't trust the media. Now, let me break this down for people that may not understand this. A lot of people that will understand my point of view have known this for a long time. We have said fake news for a long time. Donald Trump just didn't pull that out of his magic little hat and start saying fake news. No, that's because people like me started saying fake news forever ago, and Donald Trump has always had his, ear to the ground, working with normal everyday people to better his business and better the things that he does, because he understands that it's not just executives that make a company, but it's everybody on the ground level as well. And that's the reason why so many people like him. That's the reason why he's likable and he's relatable, because he understands what it is and what a lot of people on that lower level, their plight and what they have to go through. But people like you, Mr. Oliver, don't understand that. You've forgotten what that is. And also the fact of the matter, you've sold your soul. And so, nobody trusts the media. I don't trust the media at all. And if I can't read it, if I can't go look it up, I don't trust it. Now, I'll read things and I'll listen to CNN and I'll listen to Fox because I want to take that news in, but I take it with a grain of salt because I do it so that way it can amp me up and fire me up to come and do this because they're lying. Because then I go fact check them, really fact check them and go look up the information, and then guess what I find out? Oh, they sprinkled a little bit of truth and then they peanut buttered the rest of it with a lie. Because that's what they do to us. They sprinkle a little bit of truth to hook you, and then once they got you hooked, then they give you then they spread on the lies. They lay it on thick.
Disinformation to conspiracy theories. But tonight, We're going to be looking specifically at misinformation that spreads among immigrant diaspora communities. The spread of misinformation has real consequences. When a reporter recently tried to figure out why vaccination rates among Latino communities in California's Central Valley remain low, one woman explained her reluctance like this.
Yo he escuchado al líder de la salud.
¿Cómo quién?
Es un doctor que yo he escuchado, lo he visto en los documentales, que nos dice que el virus es curable. Esta es de la doctora, mira, veamos la doctora.
Pero lo más importante es que para mi pueblo El Salvador la respuesta es no. No hay que ponernos la vacuna.
Now, if you guys all seen this before, this doctor's saying no, don't take it. And that's what she's telling her people. Because you know what, this doctor she's not part of Big Pharma. She's not part of the people getting the big money that are setting you up. All the people around our country, listen, they are setting them up so that way they walk off their jobs, so that way they can federalize our healthcare, so that way then the government can take it over and socialize our medicine, so that way then they get to dictate who gets healthcare and who doesn't. So that way when they put that chip in your hand, you ladies out there won't even be able to sell your behind without the government taking a little piece. And that's the truth. Because that's the end goal. I don't know, when they say carbon tax, do you realize that it's not what your car lets out? That we are built from carbon. We are carbon-based life forms. Everything on this planet is carbon-based life form. So when they say they want to get rid of carbon, that's a fancy way of saying depopulation. Say it with me, class. Depopulation. That means you. And like old George Carlin used to say, you ain't in the club because you're the target. And if you go watch TED Talks with Charles Schwab and a bunch of them guys, they called us all useless eaters, that they have to limit the carbon on this planet. We are carbon. And if you don't know who Dr. Rima Lebo is, you better go check her out, because you know what? She's worked for these globalist people. And just like she said that we have reached our carrying capacity, the planet has, and then William Shatner goes into space and says, it's so fragile. Isn't it funny how all these parakeets always parakeet how the world ends in 2030? You know why? It's because they're behind their goal of Agenda 2021. And if you don't know what Agenda 2021 is, you better go look it up and read it. You better go download the PDF and you better go read it. Because I'm going to tell you what right now, it means you. Every single one of you watching this, whether you hate me, whether you like it, doesn't matter. We can agree and not agree, whatever else, it doesn't matter. This is what's coming. And no amount of bullets will stop it. No amount of getting on your knees and praying is going to stop it. It takes people getting active. And MLK, Martin Luther King style protests. Locking arms with our brothers and sisters that we don't agree with to save our own lives from these corrupt bureaucrats who are globalist a-holes who are trying to depopulate us. Because they poisoned our blood supply and they are destroying us. Through our food, through GMOs, through all of this, ladies and gentlemen. And I know it's got to be stressful to hear. And a lot of people, it just glazes over. For the longest time, that was me. Too. And I understand. But here's the thing. I have had to deal with abuse in my entire life. And when this COVID crap started, I was all cool with my 2 weeks. I was like, yeah, cool, whatever. We'll see how bad it's going to be in 2 weeks. And then I was like, well, we'll see how bad it is in a month. It wasn't that bad. Bodies weren't lined up down the road. So I'm like, dude, no big deal. I've never had symptoms. Never. They said that I had it once. I never had symptoms at all. I know, I'm a carrier. He's a carrier and a spreader. I probably had it, but I have such a good immunity that I didn't need anything else. Which is the way most of us are right now. And those are just facts. That is released by so many countries, including Europe, their studies. All these countries have done studies on this. It just is what it is. And I don't understand why people cannot look this up. Why they just go on CNN and take these assholes' words for it when they said if it leads, it bleeds. Ladies, you wouldn't stay with a dude who come home and said, "What up, bitch? You got my dinner ready?" "Shit, I gotta stretch real quick here. I was out giving it to these three triplets out there in that van. Lord almighty. Baby, I need something to eat. I need some more energy. I think I'm gonna go back out to that van." She'd throw a fucking pot of hot scalding water on this man and he'd deserve it. But yet you're gonna let the government and Dr. Fauci lie to you and manipulate you, ladies. Come on, ladies. Think about your own children. You want them to stuff a needle in your own children's arm? Now, they said months ago, don't give it to pregnant women. Now they're fighting their asses off to give it to pregnant women. Come on, America. We're not going to get out of this. Not by sitting on our asses at home and collecting checks. All right, so let's keep going with this video.
¿Cómo llegó usted a este video?
Me lo mandó mi mamá.
¿A través de qué medio?
A través del medio de Facebook.
¿Por qué usted decide creer a este doctor y no a un doctor como Dr. Fauci?
No he visto al doctor Fauci.
¿Nunca lo ha visto?
No.
Yeah, that's not great, is it?
That is great. I do not agree with Mr. Oliver on this. No, that is great. I'm glad this woman doesn't know who Dr. Fauci is, and he hasn't been able to get to her and lie to her. Dr. Fauci is a liar. He deserves to be in jail, is where he deserves to be. He is a liar. He has murdered so many people that it's unreal from the 80s till now. Mr. Fauci deserves to be sitting behind bars. The fact that he's a free man, yet he can't tout any of his accolades, but yet we have so many doctors in this country that can. And he still somehow, I guarantee I know how. That's how he keeps his job, ladies and gentlemen.
And it's a pretty good reminder of how, thanks to social media, it is possible to silo yourself off and have very different experiences of living in America. Because she was aware of it. Sometimes the spread of misinformation is exacerbated by the fact that for many diaspora communities here in the United States, there just aren't many alternatives in their own languages. For many older Vietnamese Americans.
Once again, he's wrong. Because I can go right in there on my TV and turn on subtitles in almost any language I want. So I can watch the news, I can watch CNN in Taiwan and Spanish and Chinese and Japanese and whatever. I can watch it in almost every language there is. So once again, he's lying. Right there, immediately he's lying to you, America. Right there. It's a lie. It's a lie, 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 more than it's ever been a lie, it's a lie. And this is what they keep doing. And to thunderous applaud in his crowd, all the idiots, I guarantee you, all the idiots, fucking clapping and laughing for him. Fucking idiots. And this is what makes me angry. Instead of ever somebody in the stands going, "Hey, wait a minute, that's not true. I had a TV once and it got stuck on Spanish subtitles and I threw it out my damn window." I hate subtitles on my TV, so it's nothing against Spanish people. I love Spanish culture. I just don't want to see subtitles on my damn TV. I just don't care. I don't want to see that shit.
There is such a vacuum of credible news channels.
Which gives me those people, like, I think people who watch their TV with subtitles all the time in their own language are crazy. They're like people who put ketchup on hot dogs. They're just crazy. They're crazy people. Like, that is a wiener and you're putting ketchup on it and they're like, it's cringeworthy. It's cringeworthy. I don't know. I can't do it. I can't do it.
That broadcast in Vietnamese, that many turn to YouTube for their news, with certain channels on in their houses 24/7. One popular host based here in the United States.
God forbid they be informed. God forbid that they're informed. They watch it all day long in their houses. How dare they be informed? These foreigners.
States is Nguyen Vu, who brands himself King Radio. He's basically a Vietnamese Alex Jones, as you can see in rants like these.
Right there. Now, what he's trying to do is he's trying to automatically discredit him by by giving you a joke about Alex Jones to then discredit this man because he has an opinion.
China completely has control of Biden. The whole situation
does.
with Hunter Biden's
True.
laptop and the trove of data it contains.
True.
I think Xi Jinping has got his hands on all of it.
True.
George Soros was part of the financial plot to overthrow the Trump administration.
True.
Why are we still being forced to wear masks? Masks are killing people.
True.
If you're in a state that gives you the right to not wear a mask, and then you enter someone's house but they try to make you wear one, tell them.
I love it. He's like, oh, fuck you.
You can see where the Alex Jones...
I love this guy.
Both have voices that sound like bones going through a wood chipper. Both have an inability to control the volume of...
Oh, because John Oliver's voice is just so much better than his is, isn't it? Oh, John Oliver just is... His British accent just rolls sophistication off of his tongue, doesn't it? No, fuck you, John Oliver. You sound like a fucking bloody fucking helium balloon that somebody fucking sucked crack out of. Fuck, he pisses me
voices,
off.
and both have sets clearly inspired by Windows 95 screens.
That's funny. That's funny, though. I'll give him that. That's funny.
With King Radio selling his audience Viagra, medications...
The Windows 95 screensaver thing. That's funny. That's funny.
And beauty creams that he claims are made by his cousin, which should be a huge red flag, unless his cousin is named Steve Clinique.
So see, once again, it's only okay that he's selling products that are made by mainstream moguls who get billions of dollars. This is my problem with these people. These people are the same reason why Walmart, Amazon, Target, and these people are running moms and pops places out while Joe Biden is crushing our economy and crushing our moms and pops, which is the backbone of what our entire economy is small business. So because this man now has his own voice and he wants to talk to his people in his language and give his people his opinion, and those people are choosing to listen to him, we have to shut that down. Because he's now encouraging people to buy small from somebody else. We have to shut that down too. Because it's not coming from Walmart or Amazon. So, God forbid. This is the problem with media in America. So this message to John Oliver is you sit around and wonder why these guys are popular. They're popular because people hate people like you. And people like, everybody on CNN, Don Lemon, that big fat motherfucker with the big bald head. Nobody likes him at all. Like, he literally looks like a walking ball sack. Like, I honestly cannot believe he's on TV. Like, why doesn't he just shave his whole head? Like, why do you just leave the top of your head shaved and you leave all that hair on the side? You literally look like Bozo the Clown when he strips off all the makeup. Like, and Cuomo, don't even get me started on Cuomo and a big-ass Q-tip thing. Hey, just what you fit up your nose as we're killing old people. You know what I'm saying? I mean, it's ridiculous, but we've allowed this to happen, America. We've allowed this to happen because instead of saying no and saying, the fuck is going on, like in other countries where they're marching and protesting all this nonsense. Or how about in Canada where now they have just made it to where they can enter into anybody's homes they want without a warrant. They just kick the door in, do whatever they want. What do you think's coming to America? That same shit. Because it is okay to sit back and protest mandates and to walk. Everybody do sick outs. That's great. I love that type of protest. But the problem with it is now they're bringing in people from FEMA and the UN and the National Guard. They are not forced. If you don't know, go look it up on the CDC's website. Those federal employees are not mandated to take the shots. But see, here's what happens. Back when this all started, they put billions of dollars into a fund so that way when all this shit happens, all those hospitals like Johns Hopkins and all these big name corporation hospitals that buy up tons of little other hospitals and tons of doctors' offices are now going to get paid all your money, all your tax money that your politicians have lied to you and put away in a little account they want. So that way they can federalize your health care. And then when grandma's sitting there at 60 years old and needs cancer surgery that if she gets, she could live from, because it's just basic, maybe it's just something they got to go in and I don't know cancer well, maybe they just got to go in and do something and get rid of it. Something easy. But they go, oh, well, grandma's 65, so she doesn't qualify for this. So unless you've got all the cash, and then guess what? They get rid of all the cash. They give you a chip in your hand. Now you can't go out and sell anything to make up that money because the government's going to want a piece of every bit of it. You can't leave things to your children. Do you not see the writing on the wall while you're just sitting there watching this, or you're watching your Netflix, laughing at me or whatever else, and you think it's a joke? Well, guess what? I'm glad that you think that it's a joke. I'm glad everybody's laughing about it, because you know what? That's exactly what they plan to do. It's in all of their papers. Every single one of them. And you know what? All you have to do is take 10 minutes to Google this shit, and it's there. So I want to thank everyone for watching. I wanted to do this one on John Oliver and break that down because it really does aggravate me the way that the media demonizes people with different opinions. And it really pisses me off, to be honest, that John Oliver is attacking these immigrants or these people that are not from here who have a different opinion. I love the fact of the matter, even if they were wrong, I love the fact of the matter that they love America so much and they love their freedom of speech and their freedom to choose so much that they do so and they exercise it. That's what America's about. So you know what? To all our immigrants here that are choosing to do what they want, if you choose to take a shot, good. Then I hope that you feel like you've made the best choice for your health. If you choose not to, then I hope that you are happy with the choices that you've made. That's what being an American is all about. And I want to say that I'm glad you're here. And I hope that we can give you a better life in America. But better than that, I hope you can earn yourself a better life. Because that's the promise of America, is that we can all better ourselves. We can all do better. And that's why you're here. And I'm glad that you're here. But let's all work together. And let's stop this tyranny, because they're coming for you too. If you think that it's only us, they're coming for you too. They just do it on the guise of blackface and, demonizing women and getting little boys to chop off their genitals and just manipulating everything, turning everything into an upside down clown world. We got to come together. Because we're not going to stop this by sitting in our chairs and hoping it blows over. It won't blow over. They won't stop. They set a boulder in motion. Sometimes, I'm going to end on this, but sometimes I feel like I'm the only domino. Like, they kick the dominoes over. I'm the only domino sitting here looking back, watching all the other dominoes fall. And I'm sitting there going, hey guys, get out of line. It's all falling down. Like, I feel like I'm the only domino that can see them fucking falling, while everybody else is face forward going, hey guys, where are we going? You see that big cake over there? I hope we're going there because I want some of it. And I'm sitting here, Ricky, get out of line, dude. It's all crumbling. Get up. Mary, come on, dude. It's like, turn the hell around and see what they're doing to you. For the love of shit. Man, because when they keep taking away your liberties, they're not going to stop. And it's our children that are going to pay this price more than any of us. So, like always, America, I hope that you had a great weekend. I hope you got to spend a lot of time with your families. I hope you had a lot of peace and relaxation. I know that sometimes I do these videos, and like I said, I'm trying to get better at doing them because I want to be more productive for you. I want to be more productive for everyone out there, and I do want to be positive, and I do want to try to come together as a nation because we need to. We have to. We have to. For survival, we have to. And so at the end of the day, I want to thank everyone for tuning in. God bless you. God bless your families. And like I always say, documentation beats conversation. Please, pop a knee, talk to God. And if you don't like God, listen, it's all about decency. Let's treat each other the way we want to be treated, because that's the way it should be. You know, love your family, love your neighbors. Let's do good. All right. I love you, America. I always will. Every single one of you. Even if you don't like me. Even if some of you need a little bit of teeth knocking. Don't matter. I still love you. Because at the end of the day, we can only beat this together. I'm not going to beat it on my own. And like I said, I don't want popularity. I don't want money. I don't want none of that shit. All I want is to inspire you to stand up for the things that you love. Because if not, they're going to take everything from you. So, thank you, America, for tuning in. I love you. I hope your weekend was great. Oh, and Halloween's coming up soon. And I will be doing a broadcast as Spider-Man. I can't wait. So, have a good evening. Goodbye.